And once again, good for this time of the year.
I'm often asked what's the best tree to plant, and there really is no answer. But in terms of a group of trees, you can't go wrong with the mighty oaks. They are fantastic for this area. Many of them are native, and they just do really well. Less damage with ice storms, wind damage, and all that, because they just have that wonderful dense wood. This is one of my all-time favorites. This is a Shumard Oak. Now, this baby adapts to so many different soil types. So whether you're living in Broken Arrow with some heavy clay soils or sandy soils elsewhere or just good soil, it adapts well. Pretty good growth rate when it's young, and then it'll slow down a little bit as it matures. Wonderful fall foliage too. I mean, a bright red, beautiful stuff. So the Shumard, if I had to pick one, it's like picking your favorite child. You know, it's a little hard, but this is definitely one of my favorites. But I got a few more I want to show you.
All right, let's go. All right, Paul, we've changed places, but we're standing under another type of oak. Tell us about this one.
This is the water oak, and the leaves look a lot different. They don't really remind people of oaks all that much. But this, as the name implies, this tree will tolerate really moist soils, which is kind of unusual for a lot of the oaks. And it's like semi-evergreen in this area. It'll really hold these green leaves for a long time into the winter months. It's a great choice, particularly if you've got a really moist area in your lawn. And oftentimes those are difficult areas to find the right plant for.
And we've seen now the first oak and then this one here that these things can get pretty large. This is something we're going to have to plan on whenever we decide to plant one of these.
Generally, oaks are going to hit at least 50 feet, and they can definitely get bigger than that. And their spread is often 45 to 50 feet. But, you know, so carefree, very few pest and disease issues, just a wonderful tree for the landscape. There's even more just around the corner if you're willing to walk.
I'm willing. Let's go. Now, Paul, we're at a brand new oak here, and obviously these are not quite as large. These are ones we can obviously plant in the yard. Tell us about what we're looking at here.
This is the Nuttall Oak, another one that you really can't go wrong with. Tolerates a lot of different soil types, actually tolerates moist soils as well, and it's a pretty fast grower. I mean, within the world of oaks, this is probably one of the fastest growers. Beautiful, distinctive oak-like leaf form, nice straight trunk, real open habit too, growth habit. So it's a dynamite landscape tree, shade tree, does really well in Oklahoma soils. It's native.
So whenever we decide to pick which oak that we're going to plant, there are going to be some subtle differences that we're really going to need to know to determine which one we want to put in.
Exactly, but I'm going to show you one now where the difference is not so subtle. It's right over here.
Okay. All right, Paul, we've already looked at 3 or 4 of these different types of oaks. This leaf definitely looks a lot different than what we've seen so far.
It is. It's got this serrated edge to it, which sets it apart from all the other oaks. This is called the Chinquapin, and it's not as common. You don't see it as much in landscapes in this area, and that's a shame because this is a dynamite tree. Beautiful form. The foliage is different and distinctive, so this is one I would definitely encourage people to consider.
And obviously with the different variations in this, and all of them that we've talked about, not only do they give us that great shade in the summertime that we really need, but you always talk about the fall leaves that we're going to see, just brilliant colors with these as we move through the fall season.
Oftentimes, yeah, you get some spectacular color. Now, the big thing to remember when you're planting in fall, you've got to water in the winter. You've got to get those trees well established, and that means watering on a very regular basis. Don't rely on an automatic irrigation system. You got to get the hose out and really deep soak these trees. They'll develop this good root system, and then come next spring and summer, they'll really take off. Other than that, the oaks need full sun by and large. They prefer full sun. But again, you've got all these great choices that adapt to so many different soil types, dry soils, wet soils, acid soils, alkaline soils. You can't go wrong with the oaks. And we've only touched the tip of the iceberg today.
Yeah, and we have a lot of great variations, and the nice thing is as we move into the fall season, now we can plant these and get them ready so that they'll start that growing process as we move on into the spring.
Yep. Now, which one you want?
I'll take the one right here.
Okay.
I like this one.
One Chinquapin for Mr. Price, coming right up.